Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Jeffrey Lyles, welcoming you to another edition of Lyles Figure Files. I'm all hyped up. Preseason starts tonight. Let's go, Niners! I'm still working on my top 10 niche G.I. Joe list. There's so many characters to pull from post 1990. Some are really good, some are weird, some are good but have obnoxiously, ridiculously sized weapons. So I'm trying to narrow it down between like my 8th, 9th, and 10th slot. I'm pretty solid on the first 7. It's just kind of trying to decide which ones I want to put in to wrap it up. And then later on in the series, they start to introduce all these little side units, these sub teams. Some of those characters are cool. I'm kind of like, maybe I should just focus on a sub team. But it's coming. But I didn't want to go too long without talking about G.I. Joe Classified series. I love talking about it. You guys like talking about it as well. And I figured let's break out a new feature, a new topic where I can still talk about all things G.I. Joe and things I want to see in the Classified series line. This is called Classified Series Showdown. I'm going to take one Joe vehicle, one Cobra vehicle, match them up. I want you guys to help me decide which one should be more the priority for G.I. Joe Classified series. My only caveat, the only rule for it is the vehicles have to match up. So I'm not going to say, hey guys, do you want the Defiant or do you want the Cobra Ferret? They're going to have to be on the same level. So whether that's something that would work at retail, as a Pulse exclusive, or as a HasLab, I'm just going to keep it all on the same even footing. And that's all the rules we got. So let's start off with my very first one. And for this one, I'm going to go to 1986. It's just a random year that came to me for this one. But I figured this would be a nice start off for this feature. By 1986, the Joe line was rolling. I was grabbing every vehicle, every character I could get. And then I was desperately pleading, begging my parents for things on my birthday, for Christmas, that I couldn't get on my own with my allowance. But 86 was just such a great year in terms of awesome vehicles. I mean, it was like everything they were doing was something I was like, oh, I want that too. And the commercials didn't help because the commercials always made everything look really cool and was like, oh my gosh, give me all of it. So now that I'm much older, I still want all of it. And I think maybe doing something like this will help me focus, at least as I reconfigure my G.I. Joe toy shelf. All right, so 86 had, of course, a slew of new characters, but Cobra got some unique reinforcements. The Dreadnoks had been a popular subset group of Cobra, and we had Zartan leading the group, and he had 3 rowdy shock troops that just went in, caused mayhem, left, created this big ruckus, and then Cobra got to pick up the pieces. And they had Buzzer, Torch, Ripper. They had great vehicles. I mean, great weapons. They had those crazy blasters and they had chainsaws, blow torches. I mean, these guys were wild. I love the Dreadnoks. Hasbro decided, you know what's better than 4 Dreadnoks? 4 more. And it was so cool because we got another base level Dreadnok and Monkey Wrench who loves explosions, loud explosions. He was really fun. And Zartan got some more help on the upper tier with his twin siblings, Xandar and Zarana. 2 great additions to Cobra, not just the Dreadnoks. And then we got probably my favorite Dreadnok, Thrasher. Loved him in the cartoon. His whole look. I mean, dude looked like he stepped out of Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome. He had the black hair with the green stripes, the shoulder pads. His weapon looked crazy too. I mean, this dude looked wild. I just loved his portrayal in both the cartoon and the comics. Sometimes that wasn't the case where a character was really great in the comic, got a great translation in the cartoon and vice versa. But Thrasher was consistently great in both. And I loved his introduction. Thought it was hilarious how he had all the Cobra logos on his vehicle even before signing up with Zartan and the Dreadnoks. But anyway, of course, the vehicle I'm talking about is the Thunder Machine. And I love this because, like with every vehicle for the Joes and Cobras, I'm all about stacking as many as possible on it. And the Thunder Machine was an awesome vehicle because you could stack, it had peg holes for 4 characters on either side. Now, granted, there weren't even that many Dreadnoks to put on there, but it was nice to have the option to just flood the Thunder Machine and just run into battle. And this is before figures would fall off the peg hole, so it was really nice that they would actually stay on. You could just take the Thunder Machine up and over hills and streets and all that stuff, and you don't have to worry about your figures falling off. But you could put all the 4 regular grunt Dreadnoks, Monkey Wrench, Buzzer, Ripper, Torch on either side, and then you could put Xandar and Zorana on the back, Thrasher in there, and then Zartan right next to him inside. So it was great. You could put all the Dreadnoks on one vehicle, which was really awesome. And the Thunder Machine looked like it was scrapped together with all this plating because it was basically a moving battering ram. Had the 2 cannons up front. Thrasher used it to just smash through buildings, brick walls, whatever he needed to go through. And because he souped it up with so much speed, he could build up a lot of momentum and crash through whatever. And if he couldn't crash through it, those twin Gatling guns at the front would soften anything up, which was great. In the comic book, Larry Hama showed that it was just slicing through vehicles, older, not as armored Joe vehicles, because of the cannons just blasting away at everything. And what was really cool about it was that the Thunder Machine was something Thrasher could drive, smash up a wall or 2, pull over to the side. You see this all the time in the cartoon, specifically G.I. Joe, the movie. You'd come through, the Dreadnoks would just roll off on either side, drop down, and it just continue the mayhem. Go back on the Thunder Machine, roll out, and that was it. And they were just such a quick strike, uncoordinated, mayhem causing, chaos creating faction that having a Thunder Machine, having more Dreadnoks on it was perfect. I didn't really need any more Dreadnoks after Monkey Wrench and Thrasher. I like Road Pig and I like Zanzibar, but this to me was the core group of Dreadnoks, and I didn't need anything else. Thrasher was a great addition. The Thunder Machine could carry them all. Of course, we had the Swamp Fire. I'll get to that at a later date, but the Thunder Machine for me is a great vehicle for Cobra, for the Dreadnoks, and it's a really cool vehicle. Now, it does have some limitations, though, because it only has those 2 cannons facing forward. So there's no side guns, no side blasters. He always has to aim forward, which is a nice limitation to an awesome wrecking ball vehicle like the Thunder Machine. Now, on the other side, there is clearly a 1-to-1 counterpart to the Thunder Machine, and that is the HAVOC. And I love this vehicle. This is one of my favorites. Again, it could pack even more Joes than the Thunder Machine could pack Dreadnoks. You could fit 12 G.I. Joes in this thing. You could put like 4 on either side. You had 2 in the cockpit section. Now, I thought that was weird because they had to lay down. That was probably the only design flaw in the whole thing. I thought it was just weird they had to lay front, and because the Joes couldn't be positioned to look up, they were just like this in there. Odd look, odd design. And then you had Cross Country sitting up in there, and he's got his cockpit above. No protection for him whatsoever. That was kind of weird. So if Cobra had anyone who could shoot, he would be dead meat. Now, of course, Cross Country is going to need to get a slight design tweak because he was back in an era where Southern pride wasn't such a as it is now. So his Confederate flag was like, he's a Dukes of Hazzard fan, whatever. But now you couldn't put that on him, so they had to tweak that design oh so slightly. But otherwise, Cross Country was a really fun character. And the HAVOC was such a cool vehicle because that cockpit could raise up. You could lower it and do all kinds of things. It had the cannons there. It's got the small cannons over on the side. Much like the Thunder Machine, there were no side guns, so they would both have to go 1-to-1 against each other. And another of my early favorite issues of G.I. Joe, issue 51. It's got my boy Flynn in there. Sergeant Slaughter shows up. Sergeant Slaughter leads a group of Joes with Flint and Roadblock to stop the Dreadnoks from breaking out. And these guys are just going nuts, ripping through the base, causing all kinds of mayhem, as the Dreadnoks do. And then the Joes are pursuing them in the swamp, and Cross Country is pissed off because they have messed up Scratch's HAVOC, and he's chasing them, and they're on this road, and it's just one lane road, and the Thunder Machine's coming here, HAVOC's here, and Sergeant Slaughter's like, what are you doing? And then they play this game of chicken, and Thunder clips Sergeant Slaughter's hat, which just pisses everybody off, and the Thunder Machine crew, Thrasher's upset because he didn't knock off Sergeant Slaughter's head. But it's an awesome episode. Awesome issue, not episode. But anyway, the HAVOC also has a bonus beyond packing 12 Joes in there. It's got a little sky skimmer flying drone deal sort of thing. I don't even know what the official term for it was. But it had a flying helmet, which was really cool because so many of the Joe vehicles were just one deal. And this added another play element to the HAVOC. I always thought it was weird in the comic and in the cartoon and the box art. It had Lifeline piloting this thing, and it's like Lifeline is the last dude who's gonna be shooting and blasting away at anybody. But Sci-Fi was in it sometimes too, and he was a much better choice, and that was definitely something they utilized really well in the cartoon, showing, hey, this sucker flies too. That's awesome. So 2 great vehicles. Both of them pack a ton of Dreadnoks, Joes, so you get both forces armed up, geared up, fully able to come right off and start fighting each other on a hand-to-hand level while the 2 vehicles go at it. The HAVOC might have a superior edge simply because of that flying element and the cannons that go up, but the Thunder Machine does feature Thrasher, who's crazy and will just do whatever it takes to wipe out anybody ahead of him. So, this is that special time now. What do you guys, which one do you think would make more sense to get into the line earlier? And I'm not saying we'll never get the HAVOC if you choose the Thunder Machine. I'm just kind of curious what you guys would want to see first. I think for me, because of my deep affinity for Thrasher, I've already got Zartan, we've got Zorana coming, Ripper's been announced. I think we're going to get some more Dreadnoks real soon. I'm kind of leaning more to the Thunder Machine, simply because it's a Cobra vehicle that works really well for the Dreadnoks. It is like their signature ride-along deal. So if you don't want to buy 6-inch scale motorcycles, not the kind we've gotten so far in Classified series, but actual Harley-style Roadhog bikes, the Thunder Machine works really well. You can stack all the Dreadnoks on that one thing. I think the HAVOC's going to need to be a little bit taller too, because of that extra raised element with HAVOC, with Cross Country's cockpit going up and down, and then the Sky Drone, Sky Sweeper. All those things are going to make it a little bit taller. Then you got to have that portion opened up so Nemesis Enforcer can rip through it and drag Snowjob out. So I'm going to go with Thunder Machine. That's my choice. But let me know in the comments which one you guys want to see between the HAVOC or the Thunder Machine. And then when it's time for the next showdown, I'll reveal which one won. So let's see what you guys decide. Thank you as always for watching. This episode of Loud's Figure Files has been filed.